like to call to order the town board meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee Ryerson?
Here.
Trustee Holmes?
Here.
Trustee McDowell? Chairman Neal?
Here. Can I stall and ask Mr. Bremner to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? You ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Are there any agenda changes this evening? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the agenda as proposed?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 5, any citizens' comments this evening? Going once, going twice, we're good. Moving on. Item 6, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on December 17th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? I would just like to say, Cheryl, there was a lot of discussion, and reading those notes, thank you so much. You do such a good job of summarizing it in that. As I was reading, I'm like, how does she do this? 'Cause mine would be a whole page, so, and the summary was wonderful, so thank you. Clerk call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 7, authorized bills for payment. Trustee Fisher.
Yes, I move to approve total bills in the amount of $151,053.86.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? I just have a couple of things. On the first page, one of the things we've talked about for quite a while but have not moved forward with is checking into Illinois funds to be able to put money into. So Sandra's going to be working on that in February. As well, I wanted to do a comparison. So we've been with PNC for a very long time, and we have, Wintrust has our building loan. And so Sandra and I were brainstorming potential other financial institutions to just do a comparison, and we came up with Wintrust, Great Lakes Credit Union, and Consumers. Do you guys have any thoughts about those three, or any others that we might want to check?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. If you have any other thoughts, we'll focus on those three just to see.
Yeah.
I did not know that credit unions could do government funds, but they do, so.
Okay.
They do them quite regularly, so Colette will be at the table with us for asking some of the harder financial questions, because that's her background. But we'll be looking at that in February, as well as starting to work on the budget.
Okay.
Thank you for the anticipated hard work.
Yeah, right. Yes, it is. And then the other question I had on it was, when you look under long-term liabilities, it says that we owe $305,000. We only owe like $100,000 on our building. And so Sandra is working with our accountants to determine what that actual amount is. Do you want to say anything more about that, Sandra?
So where I'm at with that is, Lauderdale informed me that there is a adjustment report that has to come over from the auditors for them to reduce that line item. So that's all I'm waiting for to get over to them. And also what I did not include is that we balance again this month.
Yay. We figured out the IMRF situation. Awesome. Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 8, consider approval of FSA for township employees. Ms. Usher.
So we worked with Carrie Espinoza from Horizon Benefit Solution to field out some companies, and we got a quote from Can't put my glasses back on, right? HR service, and the quote is, there is a $200 setup fee, and it's $4 per, person per month, and so we have the 6 individual that's benefit eligible, that we would look into, starting the flexible spending account. We can actually possibly start in February, or they can backdate it to the beginning of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And if you look at the handout that you got, it's actually page 4. So Sandra, you didn't email this out, so trustee Holmes doesn't have to see
She
part of
does.
it. Oh, she does, awesome.
It was emailed.
So the first few pages are on health savings accounts. We do not qualify for that. Just under the medical FSA and then the dependent care FSA, or the dependent care, which would help, especially one of our employees that has young children, with that. So the total cost, correct me if I'm wrong, it's $200 to set it up. It's supposed to be annually, but they will waive it
They will
every
waive
year
it.
after the setup.
Correct.
And then it's $4 a month per employee,
Exactly,
to have this account.
exactly.
And the minimum that you can put into it is $50, and the maximum is $3,300 a year.
Correct.
Cool.
Oh, so the 50 is not the administrative fee, that's,
That's the minimum that you can put in that you can take back out.
got it. And you said the 200 is waived after the first year?
After the first year, so it's $200 to set it up, and then they'll waive it after that. I really appreciated having Carrie Espinoza to reach out to get, because there's so many different programs and plans that, to have her expertise on this was very helpful. So I guess I'm looking for approval that we can set this up for the employees, moving forward.
I would approve it. I've been in an FSA for years.
That's good to know. We'll come to you for questions.
My advice is, budget according to what you think you're going to actually spend during the year. So, if you know that your deductibles are 2,000, then, budget 2,000 or whatever. Because, technically under the FSA, it is use it or lose it at the end of the year.
Right.
You have a grace window up until April, when taxes are filed, to submit for reimbursement for the previous year. But then after that, if you have anything left in your account,
They eat it.
the company gets that money. That's how they make their profit.
Yeah, good to know.
Our number's pretty small, but I assume no issue with integrating with payroll
No.
for the deductions.
No.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve FSA for township employees?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Trustee Holmes, did you have any questions or comments about it?
No, I'm just wonderful that's even being considered.
Awesome, thank you.
I really wanted to say.
Great.
It's wonderful.
Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Ryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. So trustee Holmes, you do not have this. I just put it together, actually about a half an hour ago. I just wanted to begin kind of greasing the skids for a concept that we've been working on as a team, and I'll just read the memo that I put together. As our community struggles more and more with mental health issues, we too at Zion Township are facing challenges that we're not equipped to handle. After much discussion, I would like to propose hiring a full-time licensed clinical social worker beginning May 1st, 2025. The individual hired will, number one, help to address mental health crises as they arise, training and equipping other staff to de-escalate situations and best assist those residents at any given time. So that would be in-house. Two, oversee the general assistance caseload, assessing and addressing issues and referring to appropriate resources, as well as holding a support group for clients. I'm just gonna pause there and say, so one of our issues is that clients come in and they say that they wanna be, so a general assistance client is somebody that has no income and no means of an income. And so they come into our office and they get a $450 a month stipend maximum. And then we either help them on the track of getting on Social Security disability or into the workforce. Well, oftentimes people with a lot of really unstable mental health issues come in and they say they're on the job track, but there's no way that they could get employed. We don't have the expertise to be able to help them through that and help them to know and to make other choices, but having a social worker on staff could help them to do that and get them the best resources that they could. So does that make sense for the second one?
In part, so that's really gonna be some tough case management, right? So that includes outreach or is this just fielding those clients as they come in?
Well, so currently fielding those clients, but then additionally, the other two things is one, is to champion creating a mental health safety net for residents seeking services in partnership with the schools, City of Hope, and other agencies that provide services, working to bring additional resources to the community. So I've already met with the executive director of Jocelyn Center, and Pete from City of Hope to look at what other resources we could bring to the community, but we really need somebody that can be the champion of that and understands all the language in the different agencies to be able to do that.
Got it.
And so the answer is yes and.
Okay.
And then fourth, you guys have heard about it, I've been in this job 24 years, probably 20 years, I've been trying to bring in the organization Circles USA. And so I just took this from their website. Circles USA is a national nonprofit that partners with local organizations, including government agencies, nonprofits, and faith-based communities like yours to deepen and expand your impact. For over 25 years, we've recognized the gap between crisis intervention and lasting economic self-sufficiency. Our model, materials, and coaching help you bridge that gap by engaging community volunteers to come alongside individuals until they overcome poverty permanently. We also promote leadership development as participants become advocates who dismantle the barriers that keep people in poverty. It is a comprehensive community approach that supports the entire family. This program, it literally helps to break down the barriers of poverty, and they've been in existence, and they have a well-oiled machine. It is not cheap, but you get what you pay for. And I really don't want to invent any wheels here if there's already one invented. So it's my intention that once we get a social worker on staff, that I can then go out for grants from foundations to help us to bring this program to the community. So then I share that in regards to salary, more research is needed, but as of January 2025, the average salary for a social worker with a master's degree is almost $77,000. I believe that this proposal fits the needs assessment completed by our residents and City of Hope. As we begin to budget for 2025-26, I ask your support in considering this position. So the position that we would be filling, currently Amy Onan is our part-time case manager, but she's made it clear that she too, I mean, there's such mental health concerns that she thinks that we need to fill this position as well with this level of support. So as we're moving forward with the budget and looking at those things, we'd love to move forward with this. Yeah.
Right now, what happens with clients that come in that you identify that have these issues? Where do you refer them to?
So it's not a matter of referring necessarily, because in a lot of situations, they already have a caseworker through some of the different agencies.
Okay.
We are required to work with them, and it gets really hard sometimes because the different triggers that people have, the different situations, the different medications, you know, we just don't know how to best do that. And we've had a couple of situations that got escalated that would not have had to if we would have had proper training. And we've gone through anything that comes up, we grab onto it to try and get the training. But it's not the same as having somebody in the office that knows how to do this and can help us to, model that. So.
Have you seen this model run through any other townships?
This model by having social workers on staff. There's a number of townships that have, licensed clinical social workers on staff. I believe, so when Truman Hudson was supervisor, he partnered with One Hope United, Jimmy Smith actually, and they provided social workers at the police department. This was, it's something that we're talking about again, wanting to do. But they had that partnership way back then. So it's not something that's never happened in the township before, just not in a very long time. We had CREW, the substance abuse treatment program, when I got elected, and we split that off to NACASA, and now it got incorporated with NACASA. But not having somebody with this caliber, especially since when our budget got cut in half, there was no funds to do it.
Okay.
forward to seeing more on this.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, CJA grant updates. Ms. Usher.
We are currently at the initial grant manager stage, and, I just, edited our Excel spreadsheet to them with, narrative of how, the funds are allocated. And then, once the initial grant manager approves, then we can start submitting for payment.
And it's my intention that we follow suit with what has been mandated moving forward, that we do the 25, or the 75% for tax abatement, and then the 25% to help, hopefully, with this position specifically. So, well,
I guess one question there, so with that announcement of the, slight change in the legislation for the 75%, are they changing anything with the requirements as far as the submittal process?
So at the moment, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm just going by what was submitted, and the amount is still what we've been approved for.
yeah, those changes will come in the next one. This one was actually already in motion, and so that happens with the third year
Right.
changes.
Okay.
Awesome. Can I just back up 1 second with the licensed clinical social worker? Trustee Holmes, did you have anything you wanted to add to that, or?
No, I was just, gonna say, and I'm just thinking, I'm glad it's even, it's being considered, and I was glad, trustee Frierson asked the question, if other townships are doing it.
Mhm.
And maybe perhaps we can get some takeaways, obviously, this is new, but, some best practices, if you will, from other townships. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's a great idea. I know Rockford Township has, for a very long time, had social workers, so I'll reach out to them and get some input on what they've done. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Okay. Any other questions on the CJA grant? Moving forward, the assessor's report. Assessor Davis was not able to be here tonight. She had a family emergency, but her monthly report, she says, Happy New Year. We are waiting for the BOR, Board of Review, that's pretty good, huh? To finalize the last hearings and the county to complete their auditing and updates for the final numbers for the 2024 assessments. Once completed, we will, God bless you, be followed, and we will be allowed to resume our normal duties in the computer system. In the meantime, we have been reviewing and organizing all information for updates and completing some inspections as the weather permits. Next bullet is it's time to review your exemptions and renew any that are required. I have posted this on our social media page, and a mailing will go out to those who require a renewal as a friendly reminder. Veterans, disability, senior freeds exemptions. Feel free to call our office and we will make appointments to assist those that need help or do not have online access. And then the third and final bullet, the Senior Citizen Tax Deferral Program may defer part of or all of your property taxes on your personal residence if you qualify. The deferral is like a loan against the property's fair market value. Applications will be accepted through February 28th, 2025. For more details, reach out to the Lake County Treasurer's Office, Holly Kim. Any questions, comments? And next item is the supervisor's report, just so that you have that. With the monthly report, we've had a high number again of incoming calls. Supposedly, when somebody calls into the water department for a question about their bill, one of the items that they can, one of the numbers that they can choose redirects them to the township if they have an issue with their bill. So I'm working to get Chris and David to remove that, because I think we got 20 calls last week from people that they're like, why am I talking to the township? I called the city. And so it's a little confusing. And what we had asked Chris was that moving forward, that nothing be posted on the bill, that the employees just know if there's somebody that calls and they can't pay their bill, to have them to give them our number, because otherwise people get really confused by that. So just to share the Queen Bees of Zion Red Hat Society, this last week we went to Feed My Starving Children to do some volunteer work in Egg Harbor for breakfast, and we had State Representative Joyce Mason join us, and she is now an official member of the Queen Bees of Zion Red Hat Society. The requirements: you have to live or work or have lived or worked in the Zion community to be a member, and she definitely works in the Zion community, so we were really excited for that. We have the 2025 schedule in the office. If anybody's interested, please reach out. Just have to be over 50 and want to have fun. So also the Zion Quarterly came out in January. I brought the stack for the city that are back in the foyer. And if anybody wants to include anything for future magazines, email zbquarterly@gmail.com. Next is this Saturday is the Lake County Joy Summit. Doors open at 8 a.m. Will be done by 3 p.m. And the quote is, "Join us for a transformative day of inspiration, connection, and joy, bringing together community members from a variety of backgrounds and sectors who are looking to amplify joy in their personal and professional lives." We've got CEU and PD credits offered for nurses, teachers, social workers, and child care workers, and counselors. Tickets are $30 and can be purchased at Zion Township or at LakeCountyJoySummit.com. And just to share with everybody, like this whole idea came up. I've been attending the Appleton, Wisconsin Joy Conference for years and years, and they quit doing it. The woman retired that was in charge of it, and they decided not to do it, which was crazy because it was sold out every year. I mean, it was a phenomenal event. And I probably said this at other meetings, but the one thing that like I know is, you know, Zion's reputation. I can't change the way people think about Zion across the county, but I think we can change the way they feel. And if they come to something that just uplifts them substantially, I'm hoping that like when they think of Zion, they'll have like a different feeling moving forward. So that was one of the considerations when I started meeting with executive directors of all the different social service agencies. And you each have the flyer, and you can see there's 27 logos of all the different social service agencies. And a majority of them are the executive directors that are on this committee. It's crazy how everybody came together to do this work together. So if there's any way you can make it, I highly recommend you come, you bring anybody you can with you, because we've got a mascot, we've got a theme song, we've got the decorations, and I'm working with the local businesses on Main Street. The gift card that we give out, we realized that all but 2 businesses were Main Street businesses. So we went to a few more of the businesses on Main Street and made it a full Zion's Main Street card. And every attendee is gonna get one of those gift cards. So it's our goal that they come back to Zion to go to the shops. So really proud of that. And just to say, like, if there was ever a rock star award, Sandra Usher, between Sandra Usher and Maggie Morales, who is the executive director of the Lake County Community Foundation, who used to work for me when she was getting her master's degree, which is funny. They have, and Christy Long, the executive director of United Way, and Teresa Lewis from the Lake County Visitors Bureau. I mean, just working their tails off. But Sandra has single-handedly, it's like these million balloons, and she's grabbing all these strings and tying them together from the food orders to the registrations to the sponsors to the guide to the everything. And so it blows my mind what you're capable of, Sandra, and I'm just so grateful that we have you at the township, so thank you.
I'm grateful to be here.
So, yeah, it's amazing. So I have extra flyers if anybody has anybody that they want to share it with. If you can think of any place that we could still put up a flyer to get more people. We have 215 registered so far. Our goal is 250 this year, and then to double that next year, and then have 725 the following year, and have a sold out event every year moving forward. That's our goal. So.
And lunch is included in your registration fee.
Yeah. And so perfect. Anything else, Sandra, that I missed?
I really want to see everybody there.
Yes, she does. Yes,
Can I ask a question?
of course.
Well, you said Main Street. What about the businesses on Lewis Avenue and all are they not part of it?
Well, they are, but the goal is to get people from all over Lake County to get all the way down to downtown. So they're not on the Main Street gift card, because we're trying to just build up the getting people into downtown again. And so,
Okay.
yeah.
I understand that, because
Yeah.
businesses could use some support to get people into their business.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Can I also add for the summit gift cards? The hopes is that the organization that's listed in the back, they are covering the costs, so it won't be a cost to Zion Township. It's just they will
It'll be
agree
their
to
donation.
pay to honor the fund, the gift cards.
Yeah. We've asked them, we always reimburse 100%. As long as we've done it, we reimburse 100%, but we asked them for this one event if they would be willing to write off that cost to get people downtown, and so far, everybody's agreeing, so. Awesome. Next item I wanted to share, and I shared this with you guys, so, I'm working to revamp Rebuilding Together, and I took the quote from, this program helps our neighbors who need essential home repairs. They cannot afford to live in dignity and to remain in their homes safe, warm, and dry. They want the homeowners they help to feel cared for, respected, and proud of their work. They consider it a privilege to serve. This program was huge in our community years ago. And it was primarily when Frank Flamini was one of the city commissioners, and because he's the area representative for it. I had a meeting with Rick Cochran and Denise Lear, who's on the grade school board, about revamping this program. The whole thing is helping seniors that can never do the repairs on their own homes to get it done right and well. And the majority of the people that work with Rebuilding Together are contractors that have good reputations that do good work. And so I would just love your guys' support with both your township and city hat, with getting us to like just revitalize this program, because it could be, and what's interesting about it is like, we could do like one neighborhood, we could do one block, we could do residents across the community. There's so much potential, and so we Rick Cochran especially started going out and meeting with businesses and Ace Hardware. They're already 20%, right? They've always worked really well with Frank Flamini. But to be able to get Zion with the Permanent Beach Park villages, the village and cities on board, and on the same page and on the same team, because the applications, when the guys that are out doing the citations and stuff, if they can have the applications and actually talk to the resident, and it's not just for seniors, it's for people with disabilities. There's all kinds of different qualifications for it to help. So to be able to spread the word and get the information out, and then on top of it, to be able to get groups that are willing to come in and help, with doing the repairs. So the Point Church is always, since we started it, they've always done it. Last year I helped with a house, but it was a church in Lake Forest that I volunteered under. But beginning to just make it, when we did it before, police department had a team, the fire department had a team. I mean, it was a big deal, and one of the things that almost all the communities that are engaged in this, they make sure that they have just somebody on staff from the park district in the city that, like, if there's a dump truck or something that's needed, that they're on the team to be able to help make sure that we can get the little things. Like one year they had, I don't know, like 47 bags of yard waste that were just piled up, and so they had all the volunteers, they loaded them in the truck and they took them away, so they weren't sitting there. But just different things like that to be in collaboration with that, and then of course funding to be able to help with that. But I would have to think that, like, if they're doing that many houses in Zion, I mean, even with the township, just to be able to provide the amount of emergency assistance to a home, to be able to compensate. So I really want to just bring it up, and I'm intending on meeting with city staff to just see, like, what we can do to make this a really vibrant partnership moving forward. So
Okay.
cool. Trustee Holmes, anything on that?
Nope.
Awesome. And then last but not least, we have Janet Eppers and Joe Lynch, are two dynamic volunteers, and I had Linda Pushy call me and ask, are you guys going to be accepting Christmas tree lights that don't work anymore again? And I had, to be honest, totally forgot about it. I'm like, give me 5 minutes. So I called Janet Eppers, and she's like, yeah, we'll take them, we'll bring them in and discard them. So we got the banners out and hooked them on the truck, and they're hanging out there. So if anybody has Christmas lights that they still want to get rid of that they didn't pitch in the garbage, they can drop them out there. We've had quite a few. So we'll get that out earlier next year and make it part of the list for Swall Cup. And so. Oh, and one last thing. So this last week, everybody knows about this building. It was the Christian School, 1828 Hebron, the big green building that's on the curve on 173 on the north side. So Marcus Barnett and Family First Center purchased that building, and it's been sitting there for a very long time. Well, it's almost done. It is looking amazing.
Nice.
And so what they asked was, one, and I gave them the names of the people with the city to connect with, for, you know, all of the code stuff in those. They desperately need help with getting an elevator or a lift. You know, I shared with them that there's got at least a dozen people that have a passion for having a community center. They've got 10 classrooms, a gym, a concession stand, and lots of like hopes for it. But so I told them that I would help coordinate a meeting at the township for everybody that is interested in this movement forward. So I would love your help with like even taking the lead with helping to know, like, I've got a number of names, but to help organize that would be wonderful.
Sure.
So I'm really good. I can make really good coffee, right? I can help. I'll set up the room. I'll make the coffee, and I'll be there to support any way I can. But
Okay.
really excited about that. So that when I went to the building, I thought I was going to see what it looked like because actually, I mean, that building was what brought my daughter back to the community because it was on her heart that we needed a community center. And yeah, and then it ends up working out. Right?
Nice.
So I sent her the pictures and she cried. So it was amazing. So looking forward to that. So I think that is all I have. Am I missing anything?
I had one quick question.
Yeah.
So I see the big increase in the number of passports being processed. Is that because the real ID is coming up for that deadline? Do you
That's
know?
a good question. Sandra, do you know why we have so many passports right now?
I do not.
I don't either. That's a great question, but I will find out. I would guess between that and the election and people wanting to make sure that they have their documents so that they're not questioned.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, between those two, I would think.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else to come before the town board? There's nothing. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Fryerson?
Aye.
Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.